Boom. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen,
Hello,
to the
hello.
DJ Life Podcast. As always, to your left, we have Erik Massengale, myself, DJ Rick Webb. Tonight, we have Joshua
Hey.
Volpe. I knew I'd fuck it up.
Jesus Christ, we even went over it.
This is how my introductions go at weddings, too. They tell me it, and then literally I do the whole, like just pull the mic away so like it doesn't catch the trail end of what I said because I don't know if I'm saying it right or not.
All right, well, we got the squad in the chat. Hello to all.
We do have the normal squad in the chat, which consists of basically Greg Alfonso, Brian Bass as always. I think those are the only two regulars I know in there.
No, the crew. David's usually in here.
Yeah, David's normally in there.
Whatever.
Anyways,
Joshua. Hello.
How's it going?
Hello.
Josh.
I'll call you Josh.
Glad to be
not
here.
Josh. Yeah, awesome, man. So where are you from? First off,
I am from Rochester, New York, which
Rochester.
is like a Western New York. I'm flat right in the middle between Buffalo and Syracuse, right up by Lake Ontario.
and that's like right Canada-ish. I mean, it's not
Very
literally
close.
in Canada.
Yeah, I'm
but
only about an hour or so from the Canadian border.
Is it? Do you? I have no concept of this. Can you cross that border? Is that like a hard thing to do to go to Canada?
Oh, no. There's a couple different bridges that you can go right across. It's just a regular standard border crossing.
Do you ever
like just
DJ
going any other way. So, but yeah, you just head towards Buffalo and like as soon as you get to Buffalo, it's only probably about 15, 20 minutes from that city. So it's very easy to get across the border.
Do you like go there to work ever?
do you DJ there?
Yeah.
So I went to school in Buffalo.
No,
I know, I mean
in
Canada.
Do you
Yeah.
do parties in Canada?
Yeah. That was,
I have in the past, yeah, and I've gone up there for a lot of like different events and things like that.
'Cause
So
if it's only
there were a
under
couple of
2
bars and a couple of places up there that I did play at in the past, which is always a wild time. It's always Canadians; they are on a whole other level when it comes to their parties.
Really? That's
Yeah.
hilarious. I just always know them to be like the nicest people in the world, and that's like it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Yeah, they are. I mean, obviously, when COVID hit, it was next to impossible to get across the border. And
Well,
even like when they started to open things up, it was still kind of a mess. You had to download this special app, and you had to show all your vaccination records, and it was a little bit of a nightmare to try to get across the border.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the whole world was such a blah, that whole time. Whatever. That's in the past. Thank God.
So Rochester, New York, people who probably don't, are familiar with, like I said, it's very close to Buffalo. So this is Buffalo Bills country. But Rochester, I mean, it's home to Kodak, Bausch and Lomb, Xerox, and the Garbage Plate. If you don't know what the Garbage Plate is, Google search it right now.
I actually do know what the Garbage Plate is. And the last time I went up north,
I have to Google search it.
Oh, it's super good. I mean,
Yeah.
it depends on what you call good, but right. Anyways,
I'll update you in a
another
second.
time. Yeah, that's fine.
Probably one of the worst things that you could put in your body, but it's just fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Oh,
right.
It's food. Yeah.
Yes, it's food. What'd you think when we said garbage? Of
You
course,
said
it's food.
well, you said garbage plate, and I'm but like
yeah, it's a
when you
plate of garbage.
Okay, when you
that's
say
terrible
home
for
of the
you.
garbage plate after you just talked about businesses, I'm like, what is this? A location? Like a thing? Like a fake plate with garbage on it or something? I don't fucking know.
All right. Well,
It's
okay,
a big
so-
breakfast plate of carbs and it looks good right now.
Lots of meat sauce, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Looks good.
So Josh is a DJ. Surprise, surprise. What single op, solo op?
Yeah, so I run a company by the name of California Entertainment, and California is with a K, not a C. And I've gone by DJ California for pretty much my whole DJ career. And the reason for that is because San Diego is a very near and dear place to my heart. A lot of family is out there. I've spent a lot of time out west. So it's just sort of a play on the words, and that's my company, California Entertainment. But I am a solo op. My background is it's like a really wild and crazy story.
I want to hear every last bit of it.
So I went to school in Buffalo. And when I went to school, my first semester, I started going for music. And the more I got into different courses and all the education and everything, I realized like, okay, shit, I'm going to graduate with a music degree. What the hell can I do with a music degree other than being a music teacher, being a sound producer, audio producer,
even
working
that's
in
a
that type of
tough.
field.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had like kind of a mixed feelings about all that. So I actually ended up doubling up on all my courses, and I ended up with a dual bachelor's in music and marketing.
Now
And hold
that's
on, I think
useful.
my camera is like being all weird. So if you see it glitch out for a second, I apologize.
Well, at least the audio is fine though. So
Yeah, the audio keeps going, so you're perfectly fine.
Oh, weird. I don't know why it's doing that. So, anyways, so I ended up graduating with the dual bachelor's in music and marketing, and I was accepted into the MBA program. So I went in with, all that, and sorry, my camera is just like it's being like really distracting. It's flashing, and I don't know if it's going through like an update or what. Isn't it? Don't you love technology? Like at the worst time possible, like
Yeah.
your laptop will do like an update
hey,
or
don't
some
worry.
software will do an update.
It's not like we're live or anything.
Right, right.
I had a technology one this week and it was fucking miserable.
Anyways.
So I graduated with music degree and a marketing degree, and after school, I ended up working for a technology company that the head of marketing, she is absolutely fantastic. She's actually a very close and dear friend of mine, and she took me under her wing. She taught me basically every ounce of knowledge that she had when it comes to marketing, and really elevated my marketing education to a completely different level. So, worked in marketing. I also worked for a couple of agencies that really kind of got me into digital marketing and branding and all the creative aspects of things. So my experience has been in DJing and in the marketing world. And as far as DJing goes, when I was in school, I got the opportunity to hang out with some people who are in the electronic scene. So I'm classically, traditionally trained, I guess, however you want to look at it,
Like an
when it comes to
EDM
music,
guy.
playing on turntables, lugging the crates of vinyl, all that wild stuff that you hear about a lot of DJs, how they got into the industry and the scene. When I first started, though, I was big into Florida breaks and sort of like the underground electro scene.
How old are you?
So I'm 45.
Okay.
And so the Florida breakbeat scene, a lot of DJs like DJ Icy, Baby Ann, DJ Fix, Two Bad Mice, the people who are like pioneers of the Florida breakbeat scene, they were basically my idols. And so I started playing Florida breaks, and I got acquainted with people who are in the happy hardcore scene. So like the Candy Kids, a lot of junglist people are playing drum and bass, raga, that type of music. And eventually it evolved where I had some friends that worked at bars and they were looking for fill-ins, just, people to kind of cover their sets if they took the nights off. And that grew into me being offered a couple of residency spots at some nightclubs. And from there, it just got bigger and bigger. My weeklies got real big. A lot of people came out, and I kind of started to look at ways to.
Was this like mid 90s? What year roughly?
No, this is like 2007, 2008 at this point when I was resident.
Okay.
So people started to come out, hear me play. They saw the way I was playing because I was sort of incorporating like that underground electro and Florida breakbeat into a lot of top 40 and like hip hop. And I was kind of merging the two, sort of like this weird like fusion of music. And it grew, and people came out, and I started thinking of different ways that I could strategize and come up with bigger and more fun events at the clubs. So taking in some of my marketing background, I was able to create some themed events that a lot of nightclubs generally will do. And so this is my 10th year doing events and weddings. And it's funny, 10 years ago, people came up to me in the DJ booth and saying, "Hey, you're great. I want you to do my wedding." And I was that guy that was like, fuck no, I'm not playing the wedding dance, the chicken dance, the Macarena, none of that crap,
Everyone's that guy at one point.
I literally used to be that guy too. I just didn't want to get on a microphone, and I was like, "Oh, weddings are."
Well, actually,
lame.
I'll take that back. I started in the wedding industry, so
Well, Rick is
I'm
lame.
the exception.
Rick is lame though, so whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in the middle of nowhere in Ohio. There was no bars or clubs to even DJ at. The DJ scene was the weddings and actually school dances. That was the scene.
Well, I'm telling you, that ain't it. But
Hey, I'm sure those kids
I
loved
learned
it.
that in college.
Yeah.
Learned that in college.
Yeah. There was a big electronic scene where we live now in Greensboro. It was like real big. Same time frame. I wasn't a DJ quite yet, so I really missed the whole thing. But like right as I started,
Womp, womp.
it was like kind of exiting the
Womp, womp,
the drum and bass thing.
Yeah.
Continue.
So, yeah, I mean, so you get it. You guys understand it.
Oh, yeah.
People come up, they want you to do their events, their weddings, and you're just like, no, that's not my thing. So I get all these people that would come up and, I would pass a lot of these inquiries off to some of the companies that were in the area. And more people just kept coming to me up to me like every week, I want you to do my wedding. I want you to do my wedding. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me reach out to a couple of these multi-ops and see if they'd be interested in bringing me on as a DJ. And these companies, like, they completely snubbed me. They wanted nothing to do with me. And I was like, okay, fine, fuck you then. And I went out and I thought, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. And I know with a lot of DJs, like when they start out, they generally will cheap out as much as they possibly can just to kind of get their feet wet and get started. I was the opposite. I went out and just bought a ridiculous amount of like gear and just sort of jumped right into it head first.
Yeah.
And it's been wild ever since. And my first year of doing weddings and events, much probably like a lot of people, I didn't really have anyone to kind of like teach me the ropes or show me like how to do things. So I had to learn a lot of it on my own. And I was completely 100% honest with my clients. I told them, I said, look, I'm a club DJ by nature. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. So you're taking a risk by booking me. And people still did it. And I just learned as I went along. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Rick, I've been watching you since day one. Watched a lot of your stuff. A lot of the hosts or a lot of the guests that you guys have had on your channel, I've watched a lot of their stuff. Barr and Cleveland Terry and even Rachel Lynch. I've been watching her stuff and just, over the years, all these people that are out there, that was my teaching. That was my education.
Right,
and that's how I learned. And it just kind of blew up. And, a lot of people have said you should become a multi-op. You should, bring on other people. And I do that. I look at it a couple different reasons as far as why I don't want to do that. One, when you sort of build up this name for yourself, this reputation of how you do weddings, it's hard to instill those values and that way of doing things into somebody else and having them do things just like you do. So I don't want to risk that. I don't want to like put that faith into other DJs to have them do things the way I do. And it just completely get all screwed up. They fuck up the wedding or whatever. And I know that's a risk that a lot of multi-ops take whenever they hire people, whether it's someone off the street, someone no knowledge or experience. But I don't know. I'm just happy with just being my little lonely solo op.
Yeah. I mean,
in being a multi-op, what's the phrase is you got to be happy with someone going out and doing 70% of what you would do.
Yeah, well,
is like the going saying. So if you're happy with what 70% of what your effort would be, then you can do that. Because that's what on average you're going to get or something like that.
it's
like
just a
70%.
different ball game.
It is.
I'm not saying it's better or worse, or it's just different. It's just not quite the same. Like,
it's not.
My multi-op is not how good I am as a DJ. It's literally not relevant in any
It's
way.
business.
It was
Right.
just, it's a business. My multi-op is as good as they all are as a collective.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You're only as good as your weakest link.
yeah, I'm fucking way better than all those dudes. If you're
Yeah,
on if you're
exactly.
on here, just know I'm better than you. I'm just kidding. But no, if it were all me, like you know how it is, like the way you feel. If you were to hire 10 DJs, you would know they can't do it up to your standard.
Yeah.
And
I literally have, and you guys probably are the same way. Like, I have over 500 5-star reviews across multiple different platforms, and I have nightmares about getting anything less than a 5-star review from a client.
oh, dude, you gotta try it.
It's as a multi-op owner, you got to play what is it, customer support? I don't even know what it's called. PR management a lot when it comes to reviews.
Yeah,
And just little things happen here and there at every event.
yeah, but
It could be a negative, could be a good thing.
That 1 star here and there, it just really it keeps things fresh, you know. It just
No,
puts that it
no.
just puts that hair on your chest, you know. It's like a Sprite, you know, a Sprite out of the can. You crack it, it's crispy when you take. That's a 1-star review
Now,
here and there.
what's more fun, a 1-star review or someone sending this like booklet, like 8-page essay on why you should refund them 100% of the money?
Because the DJ
That's what I want to know.
played the playlist that they requested and no one danced, and that's the reason.
No. I want to know in your opinion, what is more fun, handling the 1-star review or the person that sends the 10-page essay as to why they need a full refund because they're upset?
And why you didn't play their Spotify list?
Because
Right.
you've had both. I know you have because
Oh,
I've
for
had
sure.
both.
Yeah. Which is more fun?
Which is more fun?
How about removing your own fingernails? I actually haven't dealt with that in a long time at this point. It has been a very long time.
What the page-long
gotten-
email about refunding?
Yeah, I've gotten a complaint, but nothing. Like, for instance, one of the, like, I brought on a subcontractor. He did only like 3 weddings for me the whole year, so he wasn't super regular. And he left his like gig bar, 4-bar at home or in his car, even didn't set up dance floor lights, and he just didn't tell me. You know, and the client was like, I thought that dance floor lights came in the package. I was like, they did.
They
what are you talking
do.
about? You know, and then it came to light that they weren't there, and I refunded them like however much portion of the thing, and I was super. I mean, that's my bad. It is what it is. You deserve that refund.
Yeah.
So whenever you get something like that, let me ask you something. When you get like I guess I don't know if you call it a question or just a demand or whatever from a client that says, this person came to my wedding and they didn't do that great, or they forgot something or whatever. Do you generally take the blame as the company owner, or do you say, "Oh, this is a new guy. He's just learning the ropes." How do you kind of explain all that to the customer?
I 100%. Well,
Yeah, you go first.
Well, I was about to say all my guys are W-2, and I have a very small staff, so like it's not an option to like get rid of someone. So as a company owner, I take 100% full. Whenever I talk to someone, it's always my fault as to why they were not trained properly or something like that. But the blame is never put on the DJs because I just can't put that on. It looks bad as me as an owner of a small collective. I only got 4 guys that DJ for me. It would look really bad on me to the other guys if I threw one of them under the bus for some stupid thing or something. Because we've had an incident in the past year where like someone made a poor judgment on a song selection for a critical moment. They were put on the fly and recognized, yes, this was a poor situation. It was a poor song selection that they made during the thing. But basically said, but they were not ever trained on that situation, and that is ultimately our fault as a company, and we're going to move forward with making everyone aware of that. So, I mean, it's PR management.
Yeah. My honest answer is whatever they want to hear.
It's
I'm going to say anything and everything I can to make them calm down. And honestly, if that even, and it doesn't often, but if that includes up to a 100% refund, then that's what it is. And that's just like unfortunate. Now that is super rare. I'm not saying I'm out here like giving refunds left and right, but if it took that, I would still pay the DJ in full. I would refund the client 100% of their money, and then it would be my fault that I didn't prep for that situation, and that's just part of the deal with a multi-op.
I wish I remembered that.
There's nothing more important than your reputation. So that was just the cost of maintaining my reputation at that point. And really, at that point, the client is then happy, even though something didn't go as planned. The employee or DJ, whatever, is happy because they got paid still. You weren't like, it's your fault and this is going to affect your, because that's bullshit.
That's the hardest part.
Well, that's bullshit also. Even though it might be their fault, it really is our fault. We're the operators, we're the ones running the behind the scenes. So unless they were like cuss someone out and punch someone, like things
Yeah,
that
they
clearly
directly violated like
Just
what
some-
you were clearly not supposed to do.
Of course, like the things that go without saying, but like
Yeah.
the dude forgetting his lights. I don't even know if I ever told him it is a
It is
requirement.
included, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I did that. And so that would be my fault. Also, it's my fault just for hiring an airhead, like in the first place, and I made a mistake. So
I think that I would just say this is just a situation I ran into. The bigger pain in the ass as the company owner is when the client realizes that it's a company thing. So say their party didn't go as to expected because people didn't show up, or they had this lavish idea that they're going to have this giant rager of a party, but clearly they didn't have the guests or the people to do it, and they basically blame it, like you said, they blame it all on the DJ for the reason why their party didn't go well, when clearly half of your
it was on a
wedding,
Tuesday. It was freezing.
it was outside in
whatever the
in
case.
November, and it's fucking 50, 60 degrees, and everyone went home early.
And you have a Mumford and Sons playlist. It's
Yeah.
like, why didn't anyone dance?
And you're sitting, and then they try to leverage the fact that it's a business, because if it was if it was a 1-to-1, like if they booked you personally, they probably wouldn't try to blame you on it because they feel like, you're just a single person. As a business, though, they come after the business owner.
Well, that circles
blaming
back to,
on that DJ.
That circles back to setting expectations pre-hand, like your DJ should know. You see a Mumford and Sons playlist, it's freezing on a Tuesday in fucking the winter. Your DJ needs to prep them for, you might not have so much dancing because it's freezing and you have nothing but indie music. Like, I don't even know how you dance to this anyways, let alone in the freezing cold. So you got to kind of mitigate that.
Yeah, and you had brought up you had mentioned also too that when a client does come to you and they're going all spastic and crazy, that you have to kind of calm them down. You guys, as a business owner, you have to kind of play that mediator rule, sort of like that type of position, because humans by nature, they're emotional. So a lot of times what happens is that that emotion comes out, and after you kind of talk to them down off the ledge and chat with them for a bit and sort of kind of come to like this middle ground where everybody is happy, then you kind of see that their tone and the way they act towards you is a lot different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you can make them sympathetic towards you, even though they felt like they were wronged, that's the trick. If you can literally make them feel bad for you as the business owner all of a sudden, and I'm not saying necessarily blame but however that comes to be, all of a sudden you have a little bit of leverage, and that might have sounded fucked up, but it's true, because then
There's ways.
Well, like I said, if they calm down,
ways.
and then all of a sudden you're like, how about $200? And they're like, wow, that's so generous. And it's like, fuck yeah. Like, whatever.
That's been like, in a couple situations lately, that's been my course of action as to calm them down. You're right. Whatever happened or whatever it did, whatever, etc. Here's the reasons why that happened. And that kind of puts the blame not on anyone at that point. Like, it's just a lack of, or whatever. Like, I had one recently, and I pointed out that after talking to the venue owner and the coordinator, half of your guest list showed up. I'm so sorry that happened at your event.
Right.
And something like that along those lines. How about I give you, like you said, $200 back as a courtesy for my apology for the guest not showing. Like, put the blame back on them.
Before they even ask for money, be like, you should have some money. Like,
you should have some money.
And then you
Here's
lowball it.
200.
Because you knew they were going to ask for money anyways. Yeah. So one time I had a DJ. So in the morning of an event, we have a text that goes out to all the DJs, and it says just like, confirm you're good to go. So they just say yes. They just have to respond, and then it's whatever.
Do all of them reply to that?
No.
I was about to say
but
I don't think all of them reply.
It's usually the new guys who is my
yeah,
concern.
they're trying to like yeah.
They definitely do, but like fucking Graham.
Graham's not gonna text
my
you.
dude who's been since day one. He just ignores it, and I know, but he's fine. But anyways.
Send you a poop emoji.
So this guy, and he was one of my regular. He's been working with me for years, right? Responds, good to go. Okay, cool. And then I get a text from a coordinator, and the wedding's like 2.5 hours away. It's in Asheville. And get a text from the coordinator and was like, "Is your DJ almost here?" And I looked at the time and I was like, "Oh my God." He's not just late. It was like something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I called and I called and I called. He's just not answering. And this had never happened before. It was like, oh my God. And so I just threw all my we have like a backup DJ rig. I threw all my shit in my car and I just started speeding towards the gig. I didn't know what else to do. I was going to be super late. It's not like I was going to even make it to the ceremony. They were going no DJ for the ceremony.
Did you not call the guy?
I called him like 25
He didn't
million
answer.
times.
Oh, he didn't answer. Okay,
there was no
okay.
time to stop at his house and beat the fuck out
I
of
didn't
him.
catch. I didn't catch that part.
But anyways, so I get.
Oh, is this a new guy, or is this guy's been with you for a while?
No, it's a super reliable.
Oh,
like
wow.
a one of my dudes. Yeah.
So you get there and he's not there.
Oh no, he's not there.
Oh, shit.
He was passed out with food poisoning. I can't even remember exactly. It was like some drug shit, honestly. Irrelevant. But so I get to the wedding super late. I'm after the ceremony and I'm texting the coordinator, talking to her on the phone, like prepping her for what's about to happen. I was like, listen,
This is what's happening.
I literally, I mean, I was like,
We have to deal with this
Here's
now.
the truth of this. The DJ just burned me. You're getting me. I'm coming to save the day. But the best I can do is I will get there hopefully before dinner is over. And then I was like, we need to push all the special dances to after dinner. And then I can do the intros if they still want to. I'll do all the special dances immediately. We can do toasts and then we'll go straight into dancing. I was like, that is literally the best I can do. I'm already on the way, and this is the best I can do. And I was like, if the couple, I mean, I'm sure the couple's losing their shit. I was like, if you have any Bluetooth sound system, you can maybe play their songs off of Spotify for the ceremony and just have some background shit for dinner. I was like, of course we'll give them all of their money back, so you can go ahead and get that out of the way. They're 100% refunds across the board, whatever. And I got there.
That's mad cool though that you did all that and you offered that to them, because
They deserve it.
Well, yeah. 'cause
there's a lot of
got
DJs
burned.
out there that wouldn't even do anything like that, and
Yeah,
even close to that.
Well, that DJ didn't get paid, I would imagine.
No, of course. No, that's not. They didn't get paid. Right.
So the cost is his time at this
Yeah,
point.
and he went away for a long time after that.
Anyways,
but
you saved the day.
anyways, I got there. It was a rager. We set up, and one of the dinner servant people or whatever helped me kind of set up quicker. And it was a rager all of a sudden. It was a super fun dance party for that 2 or 3 hours, whatever it was. And they didn't even care. I mean, they cared, but it wasn't like super drastic. And they wound up giving me like a $500 tip,
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And they even like Venmo'd it to me afterwards, so it's not like I could be like, oh, like don't, I took it.
Sure.
I was like, fuck yeah.
Wow.
And then
that's mad cool,
they gave us a
'cause
5-star review after all that.
How many times do you guys see in the industry where a bride posts, my DJ didn't show up, or he canceled last night, or my photographer didn't show up, or this vendor didn't do that, or whatever? And it's like it's such a common thing in our industry. I mean, generally speaking, when you see those types of things, when a bride posts, my DJ canceled, he didn't show up, or whatever, generally it's the guys who are charging, $100 for a 6-hour wedding. But
It's the
the people who are elite premium, they offer like those high-end services. It's extremely rare, and that's just one of those situations that you had that is just kind of unheard of.
Right. Well, it's a different situation. Someone who is a quote unquote multi-op, but really all it is in their eyes is a money grab. Like, oh, I can book 4 gigs and I know 4 kids with laptops. Or, I mean, it might not even be that, but I know 4 Joe Schmoes, right? And there's no training, there's no standard checking, a quality check, and they just send them out. If they bomb the wedding, man, my hands are tied. Like, they don't give a fuck. It's all right, I'm back to a solo op now. What does it even matter? Where with us, that would just never happen. And if it does, serious measures are taken, and that's how it's got to be for like a long running multi.
Now, when you hire guys, do you like, do you go through the whole process of training them? Do you generally try to hire people that have DJ experience? Have you ever hired anyone that's got no experience?
Both.
So both. The answer is both.
Both.
And that answer has changed drastically as I've gone. But I've learned, So when I was very new, my first couple DJs, they were, one was a waiter, one I actually don't even think ever had a job prior. They were not DJs in any way. And I was picking up my own weddings. I was a solo guy, and they trained with me, and I taught them to mix and all that. And they went to like 30 or some weddings with me, shadowing and training. And those now are my most booked DJs. They're like my regular guys. But after we went through, I think I had 8 of those people total before I changed my game plan because COVID hit and half of them quit. And replacing those dudes takes like 3 to 4 months per guy to do that, and train them from nothing. And it was basically it took too long, and I had contracts that had to be filled. Right.
Sure.
And I didn't want to bomb these weddings, and I also didn't want to hire just anyone. So basically now I'll find dudes that are, they have their own gear, or they might not have their own gear, and I'll come up with an agreement about that payout wise. But they're wedding guys that don't want to book their own gigs, and maybe they can book here and there, and that's fine. But they
want a booking agency.
They just want easy. They want easy, which
they want a booking agency
basically
that handles
they want
marketing and sales.
But a booking agency, I can hand them 4 in a month, maybe something like that, and they just don't have to worry about anything. And then I'll send that guy with one of my guys who's been with me from day one, like 4-ish times, maybe even 2, if I think that they're solid, but just enough to see how we do it, make sure there's no red flags with them, and usually after like 2 to 4, something like that.
Brian.
Oh,
anyone. Me.
Usually after 2 to 4 little shadow sessions, we're good. I'm really just checking to see if they're weirdos.
Yeah, they're not going to show up playing a bunch of YouTube rips of dirty versions of songs.
You never know.
Debatable in that one.
Weird red flag. Like one guy who I thought was going to be cool, he showed up for a training session, and I was sure this guy was going to be totally fine. And he had all these rings on, like ones with like wolf heads and shit. And then he was
Where do
also
you find these people.
he worked at Guitar Center, and I'd known him for a long time.
Okay, that makes sense.
But but he was wearing
100% makes sense now.
He was wearing some shirt that I don't. It may have been a band shirt. It doesn't matter, with a blazer over it. I was like, okay, we're not the cool guy like that. You can't do that. Like, what the fuck are you wearing?
I just picture like comic book guy from like The Simpsons.
Yeah, it was insane. And then I gave him another shot. I was like, okay, I guess I didn't tell you literally what to wear, so you can't wear any of that. So don't
try
wear
again.
That. So try again, and then he did it immediately again after I verbatim told him don't. And you're do like, that. And then okay, you're scrapped. It was weird.
Next,
unexpected red flags.
I don't know. I give you guys a lot of props. I really do. The ones that can not only just go from a solo op to a multi-op and just do all this stuff and then handle everything from the sales to the marketing to managing all your guys. And then even like the guys that they have a full-time job and then they quit and they become full-time DJ. I give them those types of DJs a lot of props as well. I won't become a full-time DJ just because I have my full-time career that I absolutely love and adore. I'm a vice president of marketing for a very large national corporation. So I love everything that I do for my full-time career, and the DJ stuff is just like the weekend stuff.
Right.
And but you guys that get sick of your jobs, you guys that hate your jobs, and then you just kind of make that transition from full-time whatever to a full-time DJ, it's pretty cool. I really enjoy like seeing and reading a lot of that, but that's not for me.
Yeah. It's weird how I took the complete opposite of like I was full-time DJ, and then I was like, I'd rather just have a desk job. And that was my transition. I got away from that. I just hate picking up speakers and sweating and shit. I just
Why you
hate
getting an assistant, dog? You get an assistant.
all that fucking. Nah.
That's what all of my guys got. They have assistants. I normally bring 1 or 2, because if I bring 2, then I ain't doing shit. I'm going to put my laptop up and be like, we're going.
I get a lot of DJs who give me shit because I use turntables at all my events, and it's funny, you get like the older guys that have back problems, and then they see you like lugging in, you know, this big coffin with 2 turntables in it, and they're just like, you know, why would you do that? Why don't you use a controller? And
Right.
I don't know, you know, the DJ industry, especially over the last probably couple of years, has just been wild. You know, a lot of the Facebook groups can be very toxic. The DJ industry in general can be very toxic. And
It's a very toxic industry.
Yeah, and you know, it's wild because you get like these core group of people that they'll come right out and say, you need to do events this way, or you need to play this way, or do things, you know, the way I'm doing it. And I guess that's a reason why I don't really care too much about going to some of like the expos and the shows that are out there. Like I'll go to DJX. I write for DJ Times and DJ Life magazine. So DJX, that's an expo that I love, and I like the culture and the music aspect and the gear aspect of some of the shows, but some of the mobile events and the mobile shows, I don't know, I can't get into them because you go to them and it's just basically some guy standing in an auditorium saying you should charge this much or you should play music this way. And I'm just like, you know, let people learn on their own. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people out there like me that sort of kind of had to learn the ropes on their own, didn't really have anyone to guide them or show them. But you know, these guys that are out there that are like literally like dictators telling you exactly like how you should run your business, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. I'm just not really into that.
Anyone that says that is wrong. Like that might work
There's a
for
million
them,
ways
but
to
that's just not accurate. Like this is how you should anything is not the truth.
No, if any, and the problem is a lot of them get into their head that like they're the only one that's ever done that, and they think that they're some big guru because in their one niche area they did it this way and it worked. In reality, they should just tell their story. This is what I did to become successful. Just throwing it out there. Take some tidbits, maybe apply it to your own. It might work, it might not, but this is what I did.
I like going to the get-togethers because like sometimes
the get-together part.
Yeah, well, I like to hang out, for sure.
For the get-together part.
To meet the people and whatnot that I'm talking to on these forums and Facebook groups and whatnot. And then I was like, wow, you're not as mean as you are on the internet.
Yeah. I know, they're like total assholes like online, and then you meet them in person, and you're like, damn, you're actually kind of a cool guy.
It's funny. No, but sometimes I'll meet them, and we'll get talking about stats or whatever, and it's nothing serious, but it'll just come to light. They'll be like, you know, I got 65 DJs. We're doing 2,000 events a year. And I'm just like, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, who are you? Like, what the fuck? And it humbles you, but especially if it's someone you've never heard of. Yeah. Because then you're like, wow, there are dudes out there that
are doing shit
that's
not bragging about
20-fold anyone I've ever even heard of, and you're just a guy, you know. So it's super humbling, and at the conventions is where that conversation happens.
Speaking of which, back to our guest. Tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about. So you're a solo op. Tell us a little bit, as much as you would like, in terms of your business, in terms of like the types of events you're doing. Maybe give some people some reference to what you're bringing out to a certain event. I mean, you can say how many events you do in a year, etc. But put in perspective, what are you actually in a single year? You already mentioned you already work for another company, so what all goes into your business as what was it, California?
California
Entertainment.
California Entertainment with a K.
Yeah.
Love it.
So yeah, I pretty much do every type of event, from weddings to sweet 16s, grad parties, school events, to I've done anniversary parties, corporate events, literally everything that just about most mobile entertainment companies do. I show up with, you know, standard coffin, 2 turntables, mixer. I exclusively use all RCF speakers, tops, subs. I do have bass boss equipment as well.
What you rocking on RCF
Jesus.
right now? Will you rock Evoc, or you got the
hell
actual?
no. I'm not a column speaker guy.
Oh, so you got some big 8 803s or what? What do you?
I used the Art 9 series.
Okay.
That's the new ones, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
You pair them with subs. What do you got?
Yep. RCF subs, the 9005 subs.
Oh goddamn. Okay. I'll shut up.
So, and then the base boss stuff is for like the big outdoor events, the big, huge, when you're rocking like events with 500-600 people.
You like your sound. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Cheers.
I guess if the dust isn't rattling from the ceiling, then what good is it? So
that is a great feeling when you walk into a venue and you start pounding some speakers and all of a sudden the dust starts falling from the ceiling.
You should try out those.
So the bartenders are like running and trying to like get all like the bottles so they don't fall on the ground.
You got to try what is ZLX by EV. Some bangers.
Some Mackies.
Yeah, the Bluetooth ones. Jesus, I think I'm poor.
So yeah, just turntables.
I got a story about ZLXs. Now,
for lighting, it's fairly conservative. I use Chauvet Freedom Series uplights, the both lighting up lights, the same thing that you're using, Rick. All my stuff is DMX'd. I can't stand light puke. People just leave their stuff on like auto go and sound active. I'm not,
That's Eric. That's not me. I'm with you.
I puke. My lights are puking on everyone.
I fucking hate those people. I need to make it mad about that.
Or the guys that show up and they got dots going all over the place and lasers or they leave it on when like it's like the first dance or the parent dances and like the photographers are just doing like a whole face palm because they know they got to edit out the dots and the lasers from people's faces.
Yeah. To be fair, I'll do it cheaper.
Well, to be fair, this isn't even to be fair, but on your note of photographers, like we don't bring dots and lasers for photographers, but on the counter to that, we run into these videographers and photographers that think that they can put spotlights on the goddamn dance floor and piss us the fuck off. So it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
DJs piss off photographers that know what the fuck they're doing, and photographers that don't know what the fuck they're doing piss off DJs that know what the fuck they're doing.
Fuck.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of a vicious circle a little bit. But
It is.
but yeah, as far as DMX stuff goes, I use my DMX Go. I know a lot of people have issues with it and they curse it up and down. I've never had any issues with it. It works flawlessly with me. But I use that for like a lot of the like general events. For the bigger events, or if I want more control, then I'll use Show Express. And Show Express I've used for a few years and I love it. It's been rock solid for me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And as far as like the number of events I do per year, because generally it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, and I do a lot of the events, anywhere from probably like I'd say between 40 and 45 on a standard year.
That's solid.
Yeah,
especially for like
you said 40 events. How many? What?
40 to 50.
40 to 45.
40, 45.
Oh wow,
that's solid.
Every weekend with a full-time job.
That's
So
I
the
wish
wife, she kind of complains, but then I buy her a new Louis purse and then she's happy. So
I was about to say like, so I just exited the full-time workforce as being an engineer doing 50, 60 hours a week. So I've only done a max of, during that period, COVID was in there, but I did, the max I did was 42 in a year. And I wanted to fucking cry at the end of the year. So mad props for doing it.
And you know what it was like after COVID when all the events and everyone's opened back up.
Yeah.
It was just, it was wild. So
that was 21.
Year was just, I hated life, because I was doing events Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I was ready to like hang myself. So.
My 42 was 21. So 2021, the first year back. 2020, I actually still did like 28 weddings, but that's because we live in a very Republican state, I would say.
Turn up.
And venues don't give a fuck. So.
It's crazy though. In COVID times, I used to say it, and it was just it remained true. I said everyone who is going to stick it out through this COVID thing, like with their DJ companies,
successful.
is gonna bring you into a new norm, and it's going to be way more than it was prior to all this because of all the people that are quitting. And all the people that quit, I mean, they don't DJ anymore. Like whatever the people that failed or that didn't stick through
the population of DJs have decreased. So the people that stuck through it have now increased.
For sure. But I mean, obviously, DJ event planner crap. I get to see a lot of behind the scenes with a lot of companies.
You know a lot about a lot of companies,
right? And the people that relaxed through COVID instead of just like pushing,
Throttling
basically.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of
throttling
thing.
it.
They didn't, like the new norm for my company at least, we're probably, we do like 40% more business. And that's just the norm now. You know, like that's like the new bar. Where other companies, if they didn't push, they might be where they were before, but everyone else is now up on that. You know what I mean?
I wish I knew what my norm was, because literally we've been 2xing like every single year.
It right now it's like that. It's like crazy right now.
Well, that's my but like my first year was 2019. My first year as a company was 2019, and it
wasn't.
It was
I was at the wedding show with you in
2019.
That was not 2019.
No, it was December of
2018.
2018. December of 2018.
That wedding show that
Oh, no,
met
oh,
you
it
at
was
was the December of
I
2017.
I didn't live here. That was January of 2018, because me and Marcellus left college on our winter break and drove down here to do that wedding show that we met you at. It was the only one we did at the hotel.
Right. I remember the one.
I moved down here officially in May of 2018.
You told me how many YouTube followers you had, and I was like,
Holy fuck.
no. I was not like, holy fuck.
No, you were like, that ain't real. But no. So my first full calendar year of being a DJ with a company was 2019, and it was just me. I think Marcellus might have done like 10 events.
Greg Alfonso, 42, minimum of 100 a year myself. Greg does have a full-time job also. But, Greg, you're from New Jersey. You don't count as a human, so just get out of that conversation.
No, if you live in fucking New Jersey or New York City as a DJ, you do not count to this average like
bar. How many did he say he did?
He did over 100. He was shooting for 200 the one year, and now he finally is back down. I think he did like 130, 140 events, 100 weddings in a fucking year.
Yeah, I did 60 or 65 one time, and I literally was like about to end my own life. I was so like,
I wanted to end my life at 42.
It's so easy to get burnt
job
out in our industry too, you know.
Right.
And after a while, you know, it becomes very difficult to really kind of be unique in how you do events and weddings. You know, you don't want to be cookie cutter. You don't want to be like the guy down the street playing the exact same shit, the exact same style. And when you're doing a ton of events, you kind of sort of get a little complacent, and you kind of fall outside of that world of trying to be different and be unique. You know, everything just kind of starts to be like a copy and paste event after event.
Yeah.
So
definitely
going back to you getting a little invasive in your company. So where do you get all of your leads from currently? Or being a solo op, I'd imagine you leverage heavily on like vendor referrals and stuff like that. But so what's your kind of like network when it comes to your leads, and then anything you want to talk about like in terms of the funnel, in terms of how you take the leads, or using event planner, Honeybook, whatever. Yep. How's that work on your company side?
So I get way more inquiries and leads than I even know what to do with. I actually pass off probably about 90 to 95% of my leads to other companies. There's a bunch of local DJs. I just ask them, I say, hey, are you open on this date? They say, yep. I send them the inquiry, and then they take it from there. I don't ask for any money, no finder's fee, nothing. The way I look at it is if I can help good people put food on their table, I'll do whatever I can. I don't care, you know, about money. I don't care if they pay me a commission. I don't care about any of that. I just want to be able to help people who are struggling and need to make some money. Yeah. So I generally, actually, it's funny. I just got my Google performance report today for January, and I had, it's pretty crazy. I had 416 people who clicked on my website in January. And the amount of inquiries and the leads that I actually received in January was close to about 350. And as a solo op, there's only so many that you can do or even want to do. Yeah. So like I said, 95% of those, I just hand them off to other guys, let them run with it and do what they want.
That's more than we do.
So, you know, one of the things that I'm kind of honored to kind of possess and have is my marketing background. Mm-hmm. So I take that and I can implement that into everything that I do as a DJ. And that sort of kind of puts me on a different level compared to a lot of companies that are out there, because a lot of the entertainment companies in Western New York, they either have to outsource, they have to go find a marketing company to do all their stuff, you know, get them leads, do all their digital marketing. Whereas me, because I've been classically trained and I've been taught by some of the best people in the marketing world, I can take all that those skills and that experience and that knowledge and build it into California entertainment.
So tell me about that. What are you like? Are you doing Facebook ads? Are you doing Google ads? Like, what do
I
you
don't do too much with social media advertising, but so my big thing is
SEO?
obviously with the website, being able to optimize it. My website, there is 79 pages as of my report that came in today, where I'm in the first spot on Google, where people put in different long-term phrases and
Yeah, yeah,
keywords. And then I also do a lot of geofencing, and geofencing has pissed off a lot of DJs when I've talked about it in the
Say
groups.
what?
Because
Go in the detail.
I'll geofence competitors, I'll geofence wedding shows and expos, and guys have like screamed at me and said, "That's cheating! You're stealing money! You're stealing my leads! Blah blah blah!" And I'm paying all this money to be at a show, and you're sitting on your couch and you're taking my customers away from me.
Wait,
That's business.
do you know what this is? I don't know what this is. What is geofencing? Explain.
So geofencing is it's a digital marketing tactic. Okay. So let me put it this way. I'll give you an example. A woman just gets engaged. She goes on Google and she types in DJs in my area.
Mm-hmm.
She finds a couple of people. They're your competitors.
Mm-hmm.
She goes to visit them at their office and she talks with them. She's like, okay, let me think it over. Let me see what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as she leaves, she's instantly inundated with ads on Facebook, in mobile ads, and in Google display networks with ads and special offers about your company. And it gives a good call to action where she can click on it and then get more information and even possibly a promo or a deal because of the fact that she was at your competitor's location. That's a better deal than what they were offering.
Okay, so on Google you can do targeting based on location that people have visited.
Yes. So geofencing is just targeted digital marketing tactic, and it's based off of GPS and RFID tags that you use on your phone.
Yeah.
So you always joke about how Big Brother is always watching.
Yep.
That's the case when it comes to geofencing. Your phone knows where you are, and you get served ads depending on certain locations or certain what they call fences that you build around areas. You can actually get it to the point where here's a really good example. You want to build a deck on your house.
Uh-huh.
You go to Home Depot, and while you're in Home Depot, you don't see any ads for a construction company. But the second you walk down the aisle where there's wood and plywood, you instantly start seeing ads on your phone.
Wait,
It's that smart where you can narrow it down to a very, very specific
area
location.
Yeah, because normally the wood's on the far end, so you could target. So I imagine you can you actually like go into Google Ads and like draw, like how do you set the
You literally set
this
it
up?
coordinates.
Yeah, so you
you've
can do
done
a
this.
Google Ads, but there's a lot of different software that's out there. A lot of agencies will use it. So there's some pretty high tech software that allows you to do some advanced stuff when it comes to geofencing. The geofencing that you do on Google Ads is kind of minimal. It's not as advanced as what you can do with some of the third party software that's out there.
It's something that someone like you or even me, sadly, has to hire someone. It's complex, and you need
Yeah,
campaigns.
so I mean, just getting into Google Ads alone,
Not like
there's a
follow-up
learning curve with it.
campaigns.
You really have to understand, setting your keywords, setting your audience, having the content that is going to engage people.
Question for you though: have you seen the new Google like Ad Max shit?
Yeah,
Because that seems to
Performance Max. That's what it's called.
that has seemed to remove some of the learning curve required from what I've
but your
initially
cost per
learned.
lead is your CPM is going to actually go up, or your CPL.
I haven't tested it yet, but based on what I've heard, it actually goes down. I don't know. If you give it the right shit is what I've heard. If you give it the right content, like good content to work with in terms of the video it's asking for and the pictures, it can actually reduce the cost.
I
But
don't know shit about
But here's the other bad thing though about Performance Max. With Performance Max, you're throwing out a very wide net.
You are.
Whereas when you are doing something with like just Google Ads, or just in a display network, or something like YouTube ads, you're narrowing down your net to a very specific audience, and you can narrow in exactly what you want as far as your engagement and the leads that you want based off of that ad campaign.
And this is kind of like so we actually fired our marketing company and now are doing our own marketing on our end.
Really?
Yeah, no, seriously. We fired them like literally at the end of January. We fired them because they don't understand a single thing when it comes to like current reels and shit like that. So we're doing it all ourselves. My new like venture is learning everything there is with paid ads. So I've been deep into this world right now, and what you just said makes a lot of sense in terms of my theory, because our industry is very, 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 very niche when it comes to what we're doing. And a lot of like what I can find online as like free content and stuff, they're talking about like the plumber, the contractor doing ads for that level, where you are trying to reach a mass amount audience, and then you rely on the algorithm to do its thing and find the customers you want, which I think would be beneficial for other companies that I own, like Greensboro Holiday Lights and Greensboro Gutter Cleaning and shit like that, where we could utilize that. But I'm hesitant to see what it will do when it comes to the DJ side because of how niche it needs to be to find basically what you said. Like we have a very, very, very niche window in terms of what we're looking for in terms of a client. Engaged. Right. We're looking for women because they normally make the decisions, the age range, etc.
You can't say that anymore. Just saying. That's against 2023 rules.
And the other thing too, one of the as a high-end marketer, I have access to tools that allow me to really dial in and look at the demographics of my area. So I can see, what the average household income is, what the average ages of people who get engaged, what the average amount of money that they're actually spending on weddings. And I can take all that data and I can really kind of form a lot of the content and the messaging that I put out there that's targeted directly to the people that's right within their sweet spot of what they're looking to spend, what they're looking to do, and the type of companies that they're looking to hire.
Damn, sounds like you could create a business out of this. I mean, just saying.
People have said you should become a marketing consultant, but again, I don't want to do that. I love my career and I love doing what I do, so I'll kind of just stay right where I am.
You could spin off your career exactly what you're doing just for DJs for a higher amount of money.
I don't know if I want to deal with DJs.
I don't know. He said VP, so I mean that brings some money with it. So.
Yeah,
cool shit.
And you're allowed to have plugs with whatever you do in your day job, so that's not super common.
And full tattoos. I'm all tatted up. I have sleeves and everything. So.
Tatted up.
Yeah.
Rick, when are you getting your first tat, Rick?
I don't know.
Let's get matching ones. You should just match mine.
No.
Get a little heart, right on your collarbone.
If anyone's going to get me to get a tattoo, it's going to be Christine.
You should get your nipples blacked out. That's the only thing you get tattooed. Just to have black nipples.
Nah. I've always thought about like an ankle tat.
That's not cool.
I know. Well, fuck you. So, or a bicep tat. You go.
I hear that.
I want the pirate heart on the arm.
The next move is the tops of my hands. But I told Rachel, if I get my hand tattooed first, because I don't have anything on my entire arm, I was like, that's just not right. I was like, by default, I was like,
you need to start up here and work down.
People are going to call me a poser if I do that,
because they don't know what else you got. Rolling.
I know. It's like, no, bro, I swear I have tattoos.
So basically, what you're saying is, you got to start with.
That's actually my wife's lips. So when I got this done, she actually put on some really bright lipstick. She kissed a paper, and then, the tattoo artist just she traced her lips on my hand.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you got to start with the sleeve and then work your way down.
I can't do it, but yes, I might just get it all done at the same time. But whatever.
Baller.
Yeah.
Hey, then you
just
can
go do like a 12-hour session,
Yeah.
Hey, then you could win the best arm, the best leg.
Yeah, that's what I did with my leg. I just went back to back.
He won the best leg at a tattoo thing, giant tattoo conference
I
or
went
whatever.
to a tat conference or convention.
And
was
it a collective?
Entered my leg sleeve and won
Nice.
won a trophy.
Yeah, you could be like Steve-O and get like your name tattooed on your ass, and then you could show people it's a good party trick.
Yeah, dude, you could be like Steve-O and just like shit everywhere and jack off on camera. I went to see
does
Steve-O's
that?
stand-up. I went to see Steve-O's stand-up comedy recently. It was like a couple months ago with Matt.
Okay.
And it was so disgusting. So I already am not the biggest Jackass fan, but it's okay. Like,
It's okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
This was so much worse. Oh my God. I mean, he literally was just like beating off on it would be like he like make a joke and be like, watch this funny video, and then play a video is the whole stand-up. And it was just absurd.
So like he constantly was reverting back to video content for his humor.
Yes.
That's
It's,
not
yeah, he's
good.
a
I mean, I understand what he is, but like that's a terrible comedy show. If you came
was
for
weak.
comedy and then you got basically a presentation with videos. Turn to the screen, laugh your ass off at the screen.
And he probably got paid $100,000 for it. So, you know.
Oh yeah, well there's that. Yeah.
So yeah. So as far as like future, I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
what's future?
I always kind of envision like what's going to be my exit plan. And, you know, do I really want to do this for another 10 years? And you know, it's always funny because when you have a really big schedule throughout the year and you're just doing events after events, you know, when it kind of gets towards the end of the season and you're kind of slowing down a little bit, we all go through that process of saying, fuck this shit, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore. You know, and then wedding season kicks off the next year and you're all pumped and you're excited and you're stoked and you know, you get back into it. But yeah, I mean, as far as my exit plan, I don't, you know, I guess that's one of the nice things as a solo op is really I can kind of just keep doing it. And then whenever I choose to just end it, I can. Whereas I know with, you know, you guys as a multi-op, it's not as simple. You know, you've got people who are depending on that paycheck, you've got employees. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much longer I'll keep doing it. You know, I would imagine I would probably keep going for another, I don't know, maybe 4 years or so. But I do know my wife and I, we want out of New York. You know, we want to relocate down south. The company that I work for, our corporate office is in Miami. And, you know, so it's one of those things where, you know, if, you know, we go down to actually Florida a lot. We actually got married down in Marco Island. And it's one of our most favorite areas of the country. So we go down there a lot, and you know, we envision ourselves probably being down there at some point.
I like the South. Not a fan of the North, but I do like the South.
So your exit strategy needs to be you get a big promotion to be an executive in Miami, and then you.
Well, I already am an executive. I'm, you know, vice president of marketing. So I'm like, you know,
you got some levels. You can go president.
Well, all right.
yeah,
So if you're going to Miami, you just need to become a drug lord. That's in reality.
wear the hat, the white shirt, you know,
Yeah, dude.
Miami
get the
is
Tony Montana accent, you know.
right now. Miami is popping right now.
Miami's been popping since the 70s, dog. Let's go.
But
Maybe 80s.
there's a big surge right now when it comes to Miami.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right after COVID, like 21 kicked off the whole like Florida. It's all the California shit. Like all the companies and people from California that have money are moving out of California, going to Texas and Florida. Those are the two biggest spots that they're all going to Texas and Florida, mostly for tax benefits.
All right. So
Yeah, pretty much.
The chat said you need to get juicy tattooed on your ankle, Rick.
Juicy. There you go.
That's the word.
The Juicy Couture logo.
So what
you
you're
know?
saying is one person, probably Greg, said I need to get juicy tattooed on my ankle.
Huh.
Who said that? Yeah, it was fucking Greg.
All right. It's decided. Rick is going to get juicy tattooed on his ankle.
I love that the tat spurs the chat to like actually go crazy for a second. God damn it. Oh God.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's awesome. Man, all right. When I say it's
Humbling.
funny, it's not funny that you have a full-time job. It's crazy because you have this insane marking capability, but you only DJ one day and I get it. I mean, of course I get it, but like if you were full-time DJ with all of these skills that you have, which in this day and age, you know, the skills to being a DJ are marketing, you know, like,
yeah, well, you know, I mean, and I know, I think like, you know, to be a DJ nowadays, it's it doesn't take a lot.
no,
you guys know anybody.
yeah, it's a lower bar. It's so fucked up because I make jokes about that constantly and people actually are like, meh, about it. I'm like, it's literally, it's just not. Like, what's that new Numark controller that just came out? It's just automatically syncs
I
to
don't
Amazon
fucking
streaming
know.
or something.
Don't
The mix
care.
track.
Don't care.
I'm just saying. Oh, and some dude, it's only $400 too.
It's the mix.
It's the new Mix Track Pro thing.
Yeah, it's the mix. It's the mix because I have the original one. It's the new one that came out. Whatever.
Anyway, whatever.
I mean, here's how I look at it.
Lower bar.
If someone's new, if they want to be get into the DJ scene in the industry, great. Go out, buy whatever you can afford, learn the ropes, figure it out. And hopefully you grow from it. My YouTube channel, a lot of the videos I put out are different tips and advice and help on doing different events, doing weddings. Because we all know how much it sucks, as a new DJ and jumping into the wedding industry and the event industry and trying to learn the ropes and trying to figure shit out. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the content that's on my YouTube channel, it's to kind of help out those new guys and really kind of advise and guide them. And then all the articles that I write for DJ Times and DJ Life is marketing focused. Mm-hmm. So if there's people out there who are having trouble trying to figure out marketing their business, then it's sort of like those two different ways of them to learn. They can either come to my YouTube channel and they can learn about different things and different ways that they can be a good DJ, or they can go into DJ Times, DJ Life and read articles on how they can properly market themselves better.
Yeah, well, this is another reason why the bar is lower now, the entry bar. It's not just because, yes, technology and gear have gotten less expensive and easier to obtain. The entry level for the gear is lower. Well, the entry level for the information is lower also. It's more accessible now. You got people like Rick and people like you posting all this shit that is truly helpful.
Not even
but
me.
I kind of look at it where if the industry if someone is going to go out and they're going to learn and they're going to want to try to better themselves and be the best that they can, then I think the industry as a whole gets better.
I agree. Well, I definitely agree.
Just in general, like in today's day and age, if anyone doesn't know, I learned a lot of my shit about DJing from like Brian S. Red and the guys that came before me on YouTube. And then I just turned around and did the exact same thing to give back more knowledge. And I think that's kind of like what cycles it. But in today's day and age, if you want to know, learn, or do anything in this world, spend 2 weeks and deep dive into YouTube, and you will know probably 80% of what you need to know.
Yeah.
I've used that in my life just in general from like my side hobbies of like growing grass or learning how to do X, Y, and Z with electrical in my house or do this modification in my house, build this, etc. Literally, if you spend 2 weeks and you deep dive like 2 to 4 hours a day into YouTube content, you can learn practically anything that you would ever want to know. It just takes the willpower to actually go start searching, learning, and finding.
Yeah. So it's funny because there's the DJs where they want to go out and they want to learn, they want to better themselves, they want to be up to the standards that the elites and the premium service guys are offering. And then there's the guys that just have like an ego the size of Texas, and they're like, nope, fuck all that. I'll do it on my own. The way I'm doing it is fine. And there's pros and cons to both.
They buy a piece of DJ furniture, and then they think they're premium DJs.
Yeah. They're out there doing weddings with 300
people. But yet
people,
on the back end, they're sitting there like barely making ends meet, making back the money. And they're like, how are these other guys doing it? I don't understand. It's because they're furthering themselves. I always thought like growing up, like in college, like the best skill you could ever inherit is like sales. If you could learn how to sell someone, it was the best skill ever. I would argue that has changed to you just need to like barely know how to sell someone. If you can market in today's day and age, you can make a fortune.
Oh,
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I always tell people marketing is telling the world that you're a rock star, but proper marketing is showing people that you are one.
Ooh. Quote that. Okay, Patrick.
All right, we're 10 minutes after.
Snoop Dogg tattoo.
Nah, you got to get juicy. We took a vote way earlier. Don't scroll back. You missed it, but
and it's got to be in like script font.
It has to, and it's going to have a strawberry right next to it. And just
a
juicy.
podcast with me getting inked. Oh my God. Fuck this. I hate all of you.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Josh.
Where can people find you if they want to connect with you after this podcast? Where can they go to?
So my YouTube channel, the name of the channel is called The Creative Fox. And that is because of my last name, Volpe. It means fox in Italian. So I kind of, it's a play on that. But,
Okay.
pretty much everywhere on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You can either find me as DJ California with a K or as California Entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Cool.
What's all our stuff? Rick controls everything. I'm just the Joe Bun of the situation. I just show up.
I love that we've actually made that a reference now at this point, but it's so valid because Joe literally is that definition of things. It's hilarious because whenever I talk to him and he asked me a question about something, I don't know, maybe it's both lighting products, but I'm like, did you not see my video on it? And he's like, dude, I literally don't watch any of you guys on YouTube. I literally am the most foreign. I don't understand what the fuck is going on. I just do what I'm told. It's hilarious. Anyways, so the DJ Life Podcast, if you guys are listening to this right now, you should go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button on the DJ Life Podcast so we can get to 1,000 subscribers.
Specifically, 80 of you should do that.
We need literally, 8. I think it's less than that, but
something like that.
We need people to hit the subscribe button on YouTube so that way we can hit 1,000 subscribers. That way it turns on the ad revenue. I'm just going to be transparent. So that way it turns on the ad revenue. That way we can buy a nice little board here that Brian said he would donate, actually, so we can hit sound effects. So that way we can go.
Yeah. I cannot.
You guys should do something where you can take live callers too. They can call in, do an actual radio show. Yeah.
Oh,
first time caller, long time listener.
That would be deadly. That would be deadly.
It wouldn't be the worst idea.
I mean, well, that's the equivalent of the open Zoom we did.
Yeah, we did chat. Let's just drop in the chat.
I mean, and if you are listening, you should join in live because we're doing, we're trying very hard for 2023 to be every single week on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join in live on YouTube. You can view the video side of the whole entire podcast. It's amazing and awesome. And then if you are listening, make sure you hit the subscribe or follow button, depending on what source you're on, Spotify, Anchor, or whatever, etc. And if you're on the YouTube side, leave a comment down below, like the channel. Of course, hit the subscribe button. And that's about it.
The guy from the Waterboy. You can do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
For joining us.
It's been wild.
Yes.
We've talked about a lot. I like this podcast. This was fun.
This is good.
Absolutely.
It's always good.
When are you gonna change out your hat for something that actually is relevant to you?
I like the hat.
Why do you like the Raiders hat? It bothers me so much.
It just fits my head correctly.
I gave him a DJ Life hat and he doesn't want to wear it.
No hat can replace this. I just like this one and only this one.
But yet, when you ask him who the Raiders are, he has no fucking clue.
I mean, there's a sports team, whatever.
All right, before we go, you guys are watching the Super Bowl on Sunday. Who are you rooting for?
Who's playing?
A meteorite.
Oh.
Are the Eagles playing?
Yeah, Eagles.
Eagles and what is it? Who's the other one playing?
The Chiefs. Mahomes.
The Chiefs. I don't really know. Wait, didn't the Eagles win last year? Wait, who's?
I'm not.
Who the
guy.
fuck knew?
I'm not the guy.
I'm a marketing guy. I like the commercials. I don't like the game.
All right, so here's my rule of thumb. I'm the underdog fan, so whoever is the bigger underdog out of the two of them, I will be rooting for them because I appreciate underdog winning.
I think it's the Eagles. All right, go Eagles. Woo.
Right.
Woo. We have plenty of friends that are Eagle fans, so Nick Spinelli, of course. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you guys listening, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday with DJ Jess. Peace out. Bye.